Hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of course, the Misfits Racing League. We are here for a very iconic Grand Prix. It is none other than the first of 5 races this week around the iconic Silverstone. It is the British Grand Prix, and joining me today for all of the Tier 3 action, well, Alex, welcome back. How you doing?
Hello, Strev. Very good, very excited as always with this tier 3 grid. They are always very good overtaking, very good on action, and I'm really excited to see what they can do here in Silverstone.
Well, Great Britain, of course, Silverstone, the birthplace of Formula 1, 18 turns, 5.891 kilometers. This is one of the most, I think, well, anticipated races of the calendar. Silverstone, a lot of fun, of course, a lot of high-speed corners. It is the 12th round of MRL. We have a 22-round, season underway. And of course, next week we'll be going to Hungary. Following that, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, Japan, the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi as well for the finale. Of course, massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. You can check them out via their website in the chat, or of course via the panels down below on that link, because they have some amazing sim racing rigs and products there you can find for all sorts of racer, from beginner to advanced. So definitely check them out. We'll take a look at the standings. The standings here for Tier 3, well, Rutania is starting to take a little bit of a commanding lead over Maka. Yasko last week with a solid performance in 3rd there. Back row 4th. Adam in 5th, and that's your top 5 for the championship right now. Racing Point, Red Bull, Haas, the top 3 for the constructors before we get underway here for round 12. And things starting to heat up in the combined constructors as well as this drivers championship, as well as Adam, Yasko, a few of these drivers getting their legs now, finding their way on this grid, starting to collect some major points. So we'll see how things come here around Silverstone. But with that being said, we're just about ready to go racing here. I want to give a massive shout out to Crampy. Thank you so much, Crampy, for the resub. Thank you for the Prime. 5 months subscribing to the MRL, and we greatly appreciate the support. Of course, greatly appreciate everybody following along with us in the chat. I believe we're just waiting on one more driver to jump into this equation. We should have nearly, I think we had 19, if not 20 full-time drivers checked in for this one, Alex.
Yeah, I think we're having some issues with Damon. I think he is having some PC issues, so that's why we're just waiting a little bit to him if he can sort it. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like he will be joining for the beginning of the qualifying. So just waiting these drivers to ready up at this moment, and we will be good to go and just see if we can hope for some rain for today's trip.
Well, you know me, Alex. I like to see the rain here. Of course, they'd call it a British summer if we did get the rain here around Silverstone. I imagine those in the UK would get a good laugh out of that. It's always raining, it would seem. Of course, Silverstone, a circuit we're going to be seeing quite a bit this week. 5 races, Tier 3. Right now, of course, we're just getting all of these drivers into the equation as we have the countdown ticking down 10 seconds. The remaining time before we get into 18 minutes of qualifying, 50% distance condition race, of course. Not the full length, but half. And then we have full, of course, damaged strict corner cutting. And well, that roll of the dice on the weather, of course, and we're about to get a very good indication of what happens around Britain for the weather. Let's see, first race of the week now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tier 3. My name is Strifium. Joining me all the way from Spain, well, carrying all that passion, Alex.
Yeah, always Spaniards with that passion on racing. We really loved it. We love it. And probably we can have some more today on Silverstone, a very iconic track, as you said. And of course, the strategy should be very easy. Normally, it's soft to mediums, and if you are outside of the top 10, probably you can hope for that reverse strategy, aiming for a better place than your starting position, doing the medium soft. But sometimes we can see an early safety car, and probably all the grid can be splitted.
Well, here we have it now. 19 drivers in this qualifying, 18 minutes getting underway. We'll take you through who is on this grid. Undertaker F in the Alpha Tauri. We have Daniel Monaf, aka Adam, over in the Alfa Romeo. Dunk on you in the Renault. Vicario in the Haas. Cactus is back today. He missed last week. He was replaced by Noodles over at Mercedes, but he is back there in 5th on the timing tower. Welcome back to him. Unicorn is here in the Renault. I do believe he has fixed the technical issue he had with his brake pedal last week, causing him a very poor performance. Lavelle here is in 7th on the timing tower, the Alfa Romeo. Linus is here in the Ferrari Aero as well in 9th, back for Mercedes. Alex Budd with a stellar performance last week is here to try and make it 2 for 2 now, following up on the success of his amazing drive, finishing 6th last week. So he is in 10th on the timing tower. We have Moen. And of course, the championship leader, Rutanius, first out on grid today. He spoke to me a little bit before this broadcast, giving me a very clear indication of what he expected. And I'll say this, Alex, the man does his homework. Gadwin is here in 13th, back row, 14th position, of course. Fan favorite Dirk Chocolate in the McLaren, currently in the pit lane. He will be looking to bounce back after a very up and down race last week. Maka in 16th. We have Squid here as well for Williams. Grenade in the Ferrari with Yasko. After a stellar performance last week, he will be the last driver on the timing tower for the moment as Rutanius comes through Sector 2.
Yeah, Rutanius really consistent on all the races. I think he only had probably 2 bad races where he was not on the podium and probably suffering. I think it was Zandvoort when he had that contact on the chicane with his rival Daniel, today on Alfa Romeo, well, as always, but today with another name. And we have Rutanius now on turn 17, just starting this lap after the turn off club.
Very unique first turn here around Silverstone. Really touch and go on the opening laps of races, and he's done a good job to nail it here as he comes through the loop. Now into the Wellington straight, and this will take you through a very fun left-hander, Brooklands. There's a lot of turns here around Silverstone where you can find battling. Brooklands, I would definitely say, is one of them, considering that DRS straight of Wellington. Of course, now we come through Luffield. Good power on the exit here, hugging as tight as he can to that inside, nearly hitting that front right on that exit barrier here. As you come through Cops can be tricky, especially on heavy fuel. Definitely a little bit of a heads up to any of the drivers who haven't done any race running. If you're on heavy fuel load, well, it might not be best to go through Cops flat, and somebody might have already found that out early here. There is an issue outside of Cops. There's a Renault. Might be Unicorn. Yeah.
Rutanius just exiting that Stowe corner, very difficult, as I said as well, as Cops on heavy fuel. Now on club, just finishing this lap, it's at 24.3 as a banker, and that's a mega lap to start this night with. And Racing Point, of course, at the top. We will see if someone can improve that, but at the moment, Rutanius is on low fuel mode, so he will go to the pits.
Next to the line, it's going to be Grenade. Grenade goes a 124.744. Another solid time from him.
His teammate Moen now on P3 to the 6.9 was slower than his teammate, and now waiting for other drivers. I think Gadwin was crossing the line to start a lap with the mediums as well as his teammate on the mediums as well, probably trying a different strategy with that first run on that medium compound. Linus as well crossing the line on 25.8 as his banker lap.
Beccario jumps in at 25.044. That will be his first time of the session. The other Haas will be coming through out of the chicane through club now. See what Mac is able to do. 125.165. The Haas drivers 3 and 4 right now provisionally. There's a variety of drivers, a good majority of drivers yet to set laps. Gadwin now, the Alpha Tauri. He's 6 at 126.131. He's done that on the mediums, Alex.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Not only him, but his teammate as well. Right now flying out of Cops. So he's now on the S's of Mites and Beckett, but at the moment, it seems like they will do his first run with that. I don't know if it's worthy, although Understriker is an invalidated run at the moment, so we'll see if he can improve that. But at the moment, Daniel Manaf on a flyer on Sector 1, he will cross this first split with a 26.9. So I really don't know which time was Routinius, but it seems like very close to me. Losing a little bit the rear, they're out of Brooklands. Now Luffield, a very difficult traction zone on this track. I think one of the most difficult, as well as Club and Bale. So right now on turn 9 on Cops, very difficult one here as well. You need to carry as much speed as you can as now through these S's, entering Sector 3, opening DRS at this moment. A little bit of gravel and grass, I think, on the left part of that Alfa Romeo. 1.5 was the split of Sector 2. Now entering Sector 3, you have turn 15 on Stowe. You have to really hug that inside and be aware to not go wide and invalidate. Now on the chicane, 16 and 17 on Bale. And then on traction, very difficult, as I said, on that outside to not invalidate. And then Club, 24.8 right now on P4, the Alfa Romeo driver.
From what I understand here, Daniel, I'm gonna have to get used to calling him that if that's how if that's how we're gonna be going for the rest of the season here, Alex. Of course, we normally call him Atom, but one thing to talk about here is that Rutanius, he has a very good breakdown of how he approaches races, and he came into the voice chat earlier today. He was talking to me about Atom and how they've done a little bit of running together. I'm gonna jump on board with Cactus now as he comes out of Cops, but he was talking to me about how he feels that Atom might jump him in quali, but he doesn't know where Adam lands, or Daniel lands on the race pace. Told me that quali he might get outpaced by Adam. Right now, I don't know, because he's in 4th and Rutanius has that provisional pole. But he told me he doesn't have the most clear indication of where he is at in the race, so we'll see.
Meanwhile, Cactus out of Bale, turn 17, really almost losing the car on the end, but it's like a very decent lap, 25.3 as his banker. I don't know if he will be doing another one as he leaves on turn 1, so I really don't think that. But at the moment, Unicorn as well on a lap right now on Luffield.
Unicorn struggled last week. He had a brake problem, a genuine brake problem. His pedals, as we say, he had an issue with his pots. And now he's switched pedals, if I'm not mistaken. He's on a G29 set, and he's just unfortunately invalidated out of Cops. But I guess like a lot of people, he was utilizing that clutch pedal on the left-hand side as his brake, and that's now no longer viable. So he's had to move over a couple inches with his left leg. And I would just like to say, well, thank you so much to the raids. We've just been double rated, Alex. We have Code Artex coming through with a raid, as well as Mr. Ace Ritchie. And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for Tier 3 qualifying. We're just halfway through, so the timing is lovely. We're about to go for a very serious campaign here around Silverstone. And I don't believe... Did we have a full weather report yet?
We have rain on the first stage of this race. I think it's 20 minutes on the start of this race. It seems like it will be getting intense, but I think all these drivers here with a dry setup at the moment, as I see Backrow flying on Stowe, turn 15, finishing his lap.
Quite a few drivers yet to set times here at the halfway point. 9 minutes remaining as far as our clock is concerned. I don't believe we have desync. I think Unicorn may be the host today. You don't have desync on the timing tower when a driver hosts the lobby. You will have it if a spectator hosts. So fun fact for anyone wondering where that bug may come from.
A lot of drivers flying at the moment. I think Rene Goran is at the moment on turn 3, and a little bit of luck up there on the left front on turn 4. Now flying, opening that DRS on Sector 1. We'll see which is the split, as we saw Beccario jumping into P2 after improving 3/10, I think it was his time on that soft. Now 4/10 of the provisional pole of Rossini, so Renate Goran on Luffield, turn 7. Very difficult. He doesn't want to take all of the track there on the exit, but he doesn't want to risk it to put one tire on the gravel, so that's normal. Now on Cops, flat out section, entering that amazing turn 10, 11 12, and 13, exiting on Chapel on 14, and he will be opening the DRS. We'll see if he's improving on his lap. Seems like by a tight margin, Trev.
A lot of improvements coming through. I was just taking a look at the field there. Dirk Chocolate went 8th quickest. We'll see what Mac is able to do now as he comes through the Vale chicane.
Mac doesn't improve.
Yeah, no improvement there. Somebody else just crossed the line. That was Grenade.
It was Grenade, yeah, Grenade, yes, improves. I think it was like 2/10. I think all the time was on Sector 3 after we saw him crossing that sector to split with a tight margin and then 2/10 out of that last sector. So right now, Grenade go on P2, and we'll see if someone can really take that provisional pole that Routinho seems like to be sealed with an amazing slipstream from his teammate on the run into Cops. But we'll see if it costs time with that tertiary, but I really don't think so.
I'll say one thing. Damon plays one of the McLarens. We've been trying to get him into this session for the entirety of this qualifying, but it would appear that he's having a little bit of an issue. You hate to see it when those things start to plague races. He has 6.5 minutes to potentially get in here and get out for a run. Hopefully we're able to get him in here to get a car before the race begins.
I think he's having an issue with the game. He's always on the loading screen with the track bridge sign set on, but at the moment doesn't seem like he's able to join. But Arrow improving his lap time, jumping into P2. Routinho is not improving his lap time. He will stay on that 24.345, and all the drivers are really closing into that time.
Current gap right now from first down to 13th position is 1.021, so 1 second the gap. From first down to 5th, it is half a second. We'll see how that plays out in this race. Everybody has, well, selected now the soft compound tires. The only driver to run out on the mediums and set a lap was Gadwin in that AlphaTauri. It was a 25.809, and I believe he chained multiple laps on that set of compound.
I really don't know. I think probably yes. So at the moment, really pushing. But Jasko and Lobel, I think we're really hoping for them to be higher than they are at the moment. So it doesn't seem like they are on a lap, Jasko on an out lap. So probably he will try, of course, to improve because he doesn't have a time yet and 5 minutes to go. And well, as I said, still without the lap.
Here goes Unicorn getting a lap in, 25.752 from him, just shy of where Alex Budd landed himself in 14th. Talked to the Williams squad a little bit ahead of this race. Alex Budd, Squid, not entirely sure where they were going to land themselves. Squid right now, 25.119 the time. He's 9th position. Jasko on that flyer now. We'll check in with him in the Charging Bolt. He had a solid run through Austria last week.
Jasko setting purple sector 1. I really think that's a glitch, a visual glitch, because it was at least 1/10 slower than Daniel Monaf time before. But it seems like a pretty decent lap, 27.0 on first sector. He will be trying to nail those other two sections of this track. At the moment, a little bit almost wide there on Cops, almost costing all the lap and probably all the qualifying, because I think probably this can be the last try of the Red Bull Surf.
It'll be tight unless he's running additional fuel. Is purple through, of course, Sector 2. Just want to take a moment as we come down the straight to give a massive shout out to SEMA21. Thank you so much for the subscription. The first sub, the other one was a gift. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for carrying ahead that gifted sub. Thank you, everyone, of course, for the support. As we come through now, the final turn for Jasko. What's the time going to be? It's good for 5th, a 24.735, and a nice run from him, setting himself within 4/10 of the leader.
Sorry to interrupt, but look at that traffic on Sector 1. There's like 7 cars almost on the same corner. That can be massive if any one of these drivers are actually flying. but at the moment, I hope they are all on outlaps because that was really massive. Both Mercedes and I think a Racing Point of Moen, they're on the same corner, but yeah, really scary. Hope anyone there is on a lap, but it seems like Damon will not be on this race, and as second priority driver on reserve list will be Alberto Perez, who will be joining McLaren for today's race, and I think it's his debut.
Well, it'll be good to get the full grid. Very happy that we were able to get a driver in, hopefully as a reserve. You can see now Alberto has now selected that McLaren, so he will be available to race. I think it's unfortunate to say on his debut, he's going to have quite the mountain to move, Alex.
Oh, definitely. I don't think he has time to set a lap, and well, probably yes, if he's now exiting the pits, but at the moment, I'm not really sure about that, so we will be watching there for people on a lap. I think Moen is right now on a lap on turn 1 and 2, but he invalidates on turn 2, just on the inside, putting all the car on the grass. Very unfortunate for him, now staying on that 26.7 as his bunker lap. Arrow as well, starting a flyer. His teammate just ahead of him as well.
Well, quite a few drivers now getting their laps going. Back row, I'm not entirely sure if he's running. No, he is not running, so he is on an in-lap, it would seem. He ran that 24.356. He's on that front row provisionally on his way into the pit lane. Arrow will be looking to do better than that. Grenade, Beccario coming on the rear of Undertaker through Luffield. Undertaker himself has invalidated his run. Daniel Monoff just beginning his run, so we'll check in with him in just a few moments' time.
Yeah, everyone. It seems like Bagro will not be improving that, but he was so close on pole. 11 thousandths is the difference, as right now Mercedes of Cactus now on sector 3. I think a little bit of traffic, but didn't cost him any major issue. Now on turn 16 to turn 17 on Bale. Moen a little bit of dirtier, but I think Moen is starting another flyer after invalidating. But now Cactus will cross the line to set a time of 24.9. Just Squid gaining that position, so Cactus will be dropped of that top 10, and Squid will be on 10th place at the moment. Arrow will cross line on a few moments, but in invalidated run, so probably doing a back-to-back run at the moment, returns as well flying.
And Maka to the line. Maka goes 7th quickest here now. Improves by 0.3 of a second. He's in a 24.779 on the rear of Yasko. There's a little bit of action coming down the hangar straight here, it would seem. Dirk Chocolate on an outlap. Alberto Perez and him are going to be catching the flag early here. A little bit of lag coming out of Alberto Perez as we come through into the Vale chicane. Not entirely sure if there's anyone flying behind them. Lavelle's not flying, so that of course is Adam now coming through the final turn. What's it going to be to the line? Will he take pull? Yes, he will. Provisional pull. Adam and Rutanius will not be improving, as he has had an issue coming out of Cops. The Racing Point has crashed, ladies and gentlemen, and that will be a secured pole position for Daniel Monoff in the Alfa Romeo, unless the Spaniard Arrow has something to say about it. But Alex, he's blown it through Maggots and Beckett's coming through into Chapel. Beccario's not going to do anything about it. Maka already had his chance.
So only his teammate has the option to do that. Only his teammate can take pole, and I don't think if he's improving his 10 seconds off his lap, so it doesn't seem like Linus can be the other one, but he's in an invalidated run, so it seems like this will be the grid for today's race.
Rutanius not going to be thrilled about that. He had a very good run, I think, in hand there. He had that 24.345. Daniel, a 24.294 jumps him by 0.05 and a millisecond of a second. Things are very tight at that front end. Less than a tenth separating the top three. This entire grid right now, all the way to 16th, is separated by a second. And, well, I think we're going to be shaping up for a very serious race here, as we do have rain coming. My name is Strifium, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by none other than Mr. Alejandro Bitto. Massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing, because we are about to jump into a next level performance here around Britain, of course. What a matchup this is going to be. A 24.294 is pole position here for Tier 3. MRL, it is round 12.
Oh, this is going to be very exciting on this at the beginning, because everyone will be probably on a setup of dry conditions, because they really don't want to put all the money on that wet condition, as you really can't gain that much. You can lose more than gain on that first stint, so people will try to be as cautious as they can on those first laps, and then just trying to push on the dry conditions.
Congratulations to everybody in the chat who predicted yes. Will, Adam, Daniel get a back-to-back pole position. 12% said yes, and you 12% were correct. So congratulations. I'm sure we'll have another prediction ahead of the race. Let's take you through this grid. We have Daniel on pole position, as previously mentioned, the Alfa Romeo, a 24.294 Rutanius. He was there provisionally. He was only good for a 24.345 as he crashed out of Copse on his final run. And to round out the top three, we have back row, of course, in the Red Bull, a 24.356, a 0.062 gap between the top three. It is going to be a very, very electric race start.
It's going to be, of course. We have it was very close on that top three spots, and we know these drivers always can be. Oh, look at the train! I think it's for Inters. It's for Inters, but I'm really not sure, because it can be just on the crossover.
Well, trying to get a little bit of an eagle-eye view into one of those pit garages there, and I can't see the rim on the tires, which usually tells me it's full wets. And given this rain, I'm thinking we're going to see some full wet, maybe some inter to dry, if we're getting that rain dynamic to dry dynamic that has been suggested by, we'll say, the weatherman for this one. 20 seconds now counting down here in Silverstone, and, well, we were in the early rounds of MRL. We were praying, and there was quite the long streak without rain. Last week, Austria, we had a good chunk of rain. Here we are in Silverstone for Tier 3, and the first thing we see, Alex, the rain coming down.
Yeah, we really hoped for that rain. A lot of rounds, and then I think it was Canada first full wet race we had here on Tier 3. Then we had France as well, with a lot of action on the wets, and of course. Right now on Silverstone as well as Austria, we had some rain. So at the moment it will be for Inter, it seems, Riv.
Intermediate compound tires. I wonder if that was the suggested tire, or if everybody just... I'm imagining it is. For everybody to go on those tires would be absolutely wild. But of course, it's these fantastic rain dynamics that present such situations. Let me take you through what I'm thinking. How long is this rain going to be out? Is it going to be out to a point where the conditions feel like they're dry on these tires? Or is it going to be about degradation? Because we've seen last week when, well, what can happen when people make that wrong call. So I want to see how the degradation plays with these drivers, to see if any people, they go for a super undercut because they thought maybe it was time or something like this. We'll have to see how it goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I will tell you, as we see Daniel come through Copse is going to be a sight to see on the opening lap of this race.
It will be. I think degradation probably won't be the biggest problem here. It's raining enough to hold those intermediates in a good temperature on that carcass and, well, on the surface. So it doesn't seem like probably degradation should be that high, but I think they can do 13 laps on these conditions. So in case it's all the race long with this rain, should be one stop. But we saw it can be dry enough before that lap 13. So probably drivers will not have a problem with degradation, but with the timing of that crossover. So that can be good to see, and, well, it can be bad for some drivers, as they can double stack with his teammates.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming now through the final few turns, and through the chicane we go, and it's time to get those predictions in with the channel points. Will we see the pole sitter win this race? Of course, let us know in the chat who you've got on the podium or for win of this race. Let's see if you can nail it. And last but not least, my favorite, Alex, let's get those safety car predictions into the chat. All the drivers now lining up as it is Alberto Perez at the rear of this grid now. Daniel, Rutanius, the rivals all season long, lining up here in Silverstone. 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's the Tier 3 British Grand Prix. We are away and we are racing. It's a slow start for all of these racers with the conditions. We see it now. Back row. In the back, struggling a little bit here. Who's that up on the inside? That is the Ferrari. Daniel holding Rutanius well in lead of things. We don't have the best view as the timing tower wants to give us a shuffle, but it is the Red Bulls with a good launch. Yasko already next to his teammate pretty well here with the Mercedes of Aero. As we come through the first few turns now, everybody clean so far. A few positions being exchanged. A lot of wheel-to-wheel action through this first few sections of circuit. It's like a little bit of damage maybe on the front left of that Renault next to Undertaker.
Everyone exchanging positions. It was a very intense start because you really don't know where you're going. They're totally, I think, having a good start. Now on P11, battling with Gawain on the exit of Loffield. Very good exit for the McLaren. Now will be jumping on that P11. Got into the bad start. And very bad exit of Loffield. Now Cactus really close and trying to make some moves, but at the moment doesn't seem like any major issue for these drivers.
Everyone pretty well clean through Cops, which is where we wanted to look. Alex Bud right now ahead of Moen, taking a look at as many cars as we can right now. Someone said Lavelle got hit, but he does not have any visible damage on the front end of the Alpha. Squid on the intervals right now playing a little bit of a trick on us here in the commentary booth, as it were, as we come through Stowe.
This is very close. Undertaker there, almost on the back of Unicorn and Alex Bat as well. Yep, this train is massive. Squid almost losing the rear on turn 16. There actually will be aware and around, but oh, who's that? Is Green Goran having a mistake? Or that's the, oh, it's just the tower. Sorry, but it was the tower just glitching a little bit, but Rutinius, yes, had a mistake. Rutinius almost Grenade Goran there. With the door open, doesn't seem like the Ferrari will take the option right now on P3, attacking the racing point of Rutanius.
Well, right now, Rutanius is not going to be thrilled that he hasn't been able to escape from these runners behind. Meanwhile, Daniel's pulled away. You can see on the track map on the right-hand side of your screens, ladies and gentlemen, that Alfa Romeo is pulling a significant gap in comparison to Rutanius and the rest of this grid.
He is. He's really mastering these conditions. Very tricky conditions, or probably the setup can be better on this kind of conditions, as I said. So right now, Rutinius, I think he's more than 1 second. Yeah, he's more than 1 second behind of that Alfa Romeo and Green Corner, really holding there on the slipstream, trying to get the best of the Racing Point driver mistakes. But it seems like at the moment no major issues for these drivers, as on this midfield is very close. Just look at the map and you'll have an idea of what is happening there on the midfield.
Well, it's very tight in these conditions. I imagine a lot of these drivers just biding their time, Alex. They have potential dry weather coming. Everyone maybe waiting to take those risks, maybe holding formation as best they can until those conditions play to their strengths. The timing tower has not yet given us the full picture of what's going on. Daniel and Rutanius now will cross that line. It's a 39.242, the benchmark for running in this race. Look at the gap. It is nearly 2 seconds. What setup is that Alfa Romeo running?
Oh, I don't know, but Squid is running a good one because he's almost looking there on the inside of turn 3 for Maka. He was very close on the first section of this track on Abbey, but at the moment he will try it on turn 4. Side by side, almost Maka leaving the space, but it's not enough for Squid for having a better exit or a good move there on the Haas driver right now on turn 5 on this Wellington straight, but it's not enough for a gap of a car and gaining positions for the Williams.
Well, Rutanius talked to me about not having the clearest indication of where Adam landed on race pace right now. He's definitely getting it from his engineers as Squid now looking on the exit at Luffield through Woodcote now. Macca with a supercharged run on exit here through on the inside. Will Squid have the move through Cops? This is very touch and go in the rain. He's going to hold it through Macca, defending with everything he's got. Dirk Chocolate's coming for a move through into Maggots and Beckett's. Does he get the Haas? What a send from the McLaren, and he's into the final points position. Wow.
And he wants to take the Williams as well. What a move from Dirk Chocolate, but a bad exit out of Chapel will compromise his exit on this straight of Hunger. Right now Macca side by side on the exit, and right now on the outside line on this rain can be massive for the grip. As you can see, Dirk having a better line and now up into P10, holding that place right now on the points.
Dirk's going to be very happy to hold that position. He needs to watch those exits. He came through Chapel and Macca swallowed him up nearly coming through into Stowe. He wants to hold Squid. Squid wants to try and push away. Of course, everybody in formation still on this grid. You can still see that track map is just one big snake as we come through Sector 1. What's happened now? There's a Haas. Or is that the timing tower? I'm not entirely sure, but Beccario is dropped. And yeah, it looks like he's had a big issue as Macca's going to get him. I'm trying to get a visual. No damage.
I think turn 2 can be very, very scary in these conditions, and he had to lift probably a little bit, and then having a big snap oversteer cost him, I think, almost like 6 places. I think he was just behind Arrow. So at the moment, 4 places, I think. It's the loss of that mistake on turn 1 and turn 2, and Dirk gaining 1 more place, and Squid and Dirk, as I said, very, really close on the back of the Renault of Duncan Yu.
Yeah, Duncan Yu really not wanting to drop positions to these drivers behind. He's currently in 7th, 1.6 seconds nearly the gap to Arrow ahead, as Arrow is starting to dance around that 1 second range to Yasko. The 2 Red Bulls, 4 and 5 right now, are within range of podium positions in that train as Unicorn and Undertaker exchange. Undertaker getting 15th position as we come through into Maggots and Beckett's here. Unicorn taking 3 seconds for his troubles going over the curbing.
Yeah, and another exchange there, as I said, we saw, Unicorn. I think he lost the position, but I'm not really sure what happened there after having that penalty. But Dirk still very, very close on Squid. These gaps are starting to form. We have 3.5 between both leaders, and that is an amazing gap. 1.6 between Arrow and both Red Bulls, who are really, really helping each other, I think, on these conditions. And then Mac as well, 1 second gap with Dirk Chocolate, and Cactus very close to Godwin on the exit of turn 2. Now he'll try it on turn 3. Doesn't seem like he's really far back at the moment. Probably trying a switchback on this turn 4, but still Godwin fully ahead of the Mercedes.
Meanwhile, Undertaker looking at Linus for 14th position here. There's so much little exchanging happening as Squid hunting Duncan Yu into Brooklands. We talked about it in qualifying, how that can be a section of circuit where overtaking is optimal. I wouldn't say the most optimal in any case in the rain, but he is holding well with Duncan Yu. Dirk keeping within range.
Daniel is flying. Look at that gap, is really extending. Every corner is a massive advantage for Daniel, so I really think he really wants this range to stay as as much as he can. So he really wants to gain that advantage on this first stint on the inters. It doesn't seem like they are wearing so fast. The moment the driver's keeping it under control, but the gap extending almost half a second per lap.
Yeah, Rutani is pushing. He wants to try and, well, get that guy back. He wants that lead of this race. He wants to further extend his championship lead over his rival. And, well, Undertaker, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Linus and Undertaker, wheel to wheel. Sorry to interrupt you there, Alex. I was looking at Daniel, who just set another fastest lap.
I don't know if it's improving the time. The track. I don't know if it's improving. The moment, if it's raining less, it doesn't seem like. It seems like it's still with a huge rain, but on the same compound of intermediate. So probably just trying to learn every corner of this track on this situation. But now Undertaker was trying the move on P14 Linus on the Ferrari. It doesn't seem like he got that move.
Here goes Cactus.
It on the outside line.
Gadwin Cactus through on the inside, through into Brooklyn's. Does Gaddon have an opportunity to maybe make a move back here? Did Cactus go deep? It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's locked up 12th for now.
Squid still on the back of Duncan Yu. He will not try the move yet. Seems like these situations gives you with a no DRS to help you on the straights, so it really can be a pain. Really can be pain to overtake on this situation, and now Squid is really having a taste of it.
Dark Chocolate biding his time. One thing to talk about is the energy comparison between these three drivers. Dunk on you right now. He's in a good standing as far as his battery deployment's concerned. I'd say Dark Chocolate in 9th is probably the worst case out of the three.
Another fast lap for the Alfa Romeo driver. 5.3 is the gap on 7 laps, so it's more than half a second improvement respectively to Rutinius, who is holding Grenade Goran 0.6 behind. I think that gap hasn't changed on all of this race. Undertaker still very, very close on Linus, but it doesn't seem still to an opportunity to change that position.
Daniel off to an absolute rocket pace right now. He's still setting purple sectors, and it looks like the circuit might be starting to dry up a little bit if that is the case.
I think the rain stopped a little bit.
Definitely lightened up.
Yeah, definitely. Just go on board with some of these drivers, and you will have a very good look. You need to go for a driver that doesn't have a spray ahead of him. That's difficult because all of these drivers are very, very close to each other. And Dirk, for example, using that overtake there on the back of Squid, trying to get close on this SS to have a better exit on Chapel. A little bit wide on turn 12 on Beckett's, but it doesn't seem like a move for him.
He was very close coming through into Maggots there, and out of the Chapel.
Oh, Alex Bad will try it. Alex Bad will try it definitely after losing the place with Moen. I think it was before Cops, and now very close on the exit of Chapel. Not enough, it seems, to move, but Undertaker will do it on the outside, or he will try it only because he's now side by side on the outside line. No grip there, but still he will find it. It's still side by side on turn 16. Undertaker on the inside. Linus will try to hold that position on the outside. It's a very strong hold, but it doesn't seem that he will lose that position. So at the moment, Undertaker still on P15, and a very good defense for the Ferrari driver.
This is bringing Unicorn into vision, and he wants to really maybe get both of these drivers. He does have a penalty, but as does Linus, and everything's all about those bragging rights on track.
All of this battle is causing Moen and Alex Bad as well as Global gaining time, as Moen just has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but still they are gaining time on P14. These three battling, as well as Alex Bad, Moen, and Global, as I said. Undertaker trying the inside line of Lowfield. Linus expecting more grip on the outside. I think he touched the gravel trap there with the left tires. So a better exit for Undertaker, probably trying the move here on Cobb's with him.
Oh, up the inside, Undertaker now. I think he might have just gotten off it there. I don't know if he thought better. Linus holding. Dark Chocolate's having a run on Squid. Not too tight. We'll jump on. Well, actually, let's say it is tight. Coming out of Stowe now. So much action happening, even in these wet conditions.
I don't know how much they are suffering on wear, but right now Linus saving the car out of Stowe. I don't know if there was contact there, but Unicorn taps the rear of the Ferrari. He has damage. I don't know if was this action or another one, but he has damage on the end plate, and Linus losing 2 places on 2 corners, and Unicorn will say P15.
Yeah, Unicorn, if I'm not mistaken, he did take that end plate damage on the opening lap, and he has been carrying it with him this entire time. Maka now is starting to bring himself on the rear of Dirk and Squid. ever so carefully as Squid dancing in and around that 1 second range of dunk on you on the rear of Arrow as this train continues coming out of Luffield.
Yeah, the Red Bulls, I think.
Ooh, Dirk with a smooth move. I don't know if he caught Squid sleeping, but he's taken Squid for 8th. Squid's also taken a 3-second time penalty on the exit out of Cops, and that is not what he needed even remotely in that Williams.
What an amazing overtake, a snap of oversteer there on the exit of 14, almost costing him a major issue, but Squid still not close enough for a move, but a very good one for him. Lovell as well, very close on Alex Budd, as he's been always that close on this stint. But Linus having a bad exit of Chapel. Look at this train behind him.
Squid's coming into the pit lane.
Probably another set of inserts. I think it has to be.
This is interesting to see as well. It's very interesting to see. I don't know what the tire degradation's like right now. I haven't had any indication.
Intermediates, yeah. Probably he thinks everyone has to pit for another set of inserts, so he wants to do the undercut to try to gain some positions, but his teammate is pitting at the same time. Probably a double stack can be done, so not good for Williams, but at the same time, if he thinks everyone has to pit again, that's a very good move. But if these drivers can hold on these intermediates as the first stint to the dry conditions, probably can be massive for him.
Dunk on you out of Luffield right now has a very serious McLaren barking up his rear. In Dirk Chocolate, we saw Dirk take Squid through into Cops last lap through. He's not going to get it done this time around. He doesn't have the exit he needs. Maybe he'll have an opportunity through into Stowe.
He needs to save fuel. I don't know if he started with negative fuel, but definitely he is now. You can see that yellow indicator on the bottom right. So at the moment he needs to save fuel. Moen and Linus Cactus having a very good battle there on
Lavelle is going to sneak through on Moen just the same, or is he? Moen coming back at him. Ooh, I'm trying to get a proper angle here of this racing action. Lavelle holding Moen for now, but Moen not done with him.
Lovell has a very good chunk of battery to defend with, so at the moment he will gain another place after that double pit stop for Williams. And Linus is speeding as well, Lovell is speeding as well, but Moen will stay out. It seems like they will be following the strategy of the Williams squad, but at the moment we will see if we'll be good on this race, as the leader is 7.7 ahead of Rusenius, and all the gaps seems like be staying at the same point. Moen having a drift on turn 1, saving the car.
Tight gaps right now still in the midfield here. Arrow with Dunk on You and Dirk Chocolate barking up his rearview mirrors, and here goes Dirk. We saw it lap after lap now. It would seem he's trying to get a rocket launch out of Luffield here. It looks like he might have it. He's got the fronts to the rears, but he's going to drop off just a little bit on the rear of this Renault. I have to say, very good patience coming out of him there.
Curry doesn't want to risk it now. He has gained 6 positions on these first 11 laps. Oh, very bad exit for Duncan Yu, and a free position for Dark Chocolate. Maka will try to do the same. I don't think it will be enough this straight for him.
That was a critical error.
Close.
That was a huge error for the Renault. We'll have to see if he pits after that. Everyone's staying out now. Dirk Chocolate 1.3 ahead of him. Dunk on You has Maka to deal with now.
Everyone wants to stay on this compound till the rain stops, because they really don't want a double stop. Still, the Williams did it, and I'm really surprised at the moment. Probably can be good for them at the end, but I'm really confused on what they are trying at the moment. Cactus having a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings after exceeding track limits, so not good news for him, as well as Undertaker. But yeah, the strategy is really turning in something very, very interesting today.
Well, we're being told, I've seen it a few times in the chat, and I've been waiting to see if anyone else has, come through to say it, but a few have come through to say This rain may not be going anywhere, which is very interesting to me.
This can very good, be very good for some drivers that have picked that wet setup, or at least having some changes on their dry setup for a better stability on the rain. Probably Daniel did something about that, because right now his pace is amazing, but probably some drivers really struggling because of that. Probably they didn't do any changes, now running on a dry setup, and they thought that first stint was going to be short enough to not be worried about.
Grenade with a huge lunge into the pit lane. It was a late call.
Yeah, the first of the leaders to pit. I think he will try to do an undercut to Rutenius. Another set of injuries, of course, for the Ferrari. So it seems like a one-stop to the end. If it doesn't rain, if it doesn't stop raining today on Silverstone.
Dark Chocolate has been showing some pretty good pace since he's gotten comfortable on these intermediate compound tires, I have to say. Well, as I curse him, and he takes that penalty, he will get the overtake. Let me just curse you real quick, then you can get the overtake. On with it now, Dirk. Carry on.
Well, at least he's doing an amazing job, because 9 places gained after the start of this race. He's now up into P5. Of course, Squid and, if I'm not mistaken, was Grenade Goran, both of these top 10 drivers to pit already. So they're trying the massive undercut. Squid, he's only 3.7 behind Grenade Goran, so probably he has done an amazing undercut. We'll see later when everyone on this top position pit.
Back row. Rutenius. I am blown away by the gap between these drivers and Daniel in lead of things, as Rutenius now has come into the pit lane.
Both Red Bull staying out, so probably really hoping to see this rain stopping. At the moment it's not, and Dark Chocolate sets the fastest lap. I think it's probably one of the first laps that he has done on free air, and now you can see the real pace of this McLaren, and right now closing the gap on both Red Bulls.
Yeah, he's going to be really frustrated that he took that 3-second time penalty, as he's been having a solid shot of pace. He's just come through where he took that penalty last time and taking that turn a little bit better this run around, as Rutenius will come out on the rear of Grenade. So Grenade has undercut the Racing Point.
He has, and I think almost 1.5 seconds it was the undercut worth. So right now on net P2 for the Ferrari, very good one, because right now he's really trying to push as much as he can. He has free air to do it, and just to undercut not only him, but opening the space between him and both Red Bulls. Probably Daniel right now on the lead of this grid will pit to answer as an answer of these undercuts. We will see what he decides to do. He's staying out one more lap. He has the gap to do it though, so he is not that worried. Probably only trying to stretch this stint till the rain stops, but we don't know. I think anyone on this grids knows what is going to happen with these overcast situations, and of course rain here on Silverstone.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but if we do see rain start to finish in this race, this will be the first full wet racing campaign we have had in the MRL this season. If anyone is able to stat check me or fact check me on that, I would
Canada
really
Tier
appreciate
3.
it. Was Canada Tier 3 full wet?
Yes, it was actually safety car due to that wet conditions. If you remember, it was an amazing start to finish race on that
how can I
wet
forget?
conditions.
Yes. Baku Tier 1. See, this is why we have the amazing viewers and all of you guys with the support of the MRL right there. When I forget amazing races like that, that Canadian race was certainly spectacular. Baku Tier 1, yeah.
As well, yeah.
Valu will forget that one.
Yeah, and I will as well, but Daniel won't forget this one, as We see on the chat, Scars, his engineer, told him to box on this one. He's really pushing at the moment. I think he had him screen freeze or it was on my end. I'm really not sure what happened there. But at the moment, he's pushing on that in lap and will try to maximize every 10th he has on his pocket. He had a very good gap on, as I said, on his back. So at the moment, just going to pit, it seems. But he lost 1 second. I think it was in a screen freeze, yeah?
Yeah, chat coming through now, letting us know there was some kind of technical fault there, and you can see this pit stop now. Well, the Red Bulls are staying out.
I would do the same, to be honest. If I had the good conditions on those tires, I would expect this to dry up, but it's really risky. It's like flipping a coin at the moment because we don't know what is going to happen. Still no BSCs, still no safety cars that can spark this, and that's a thing that really we can have on mind. Probably a safety car can help a lot these front runners as they haven't pit, and probably they will try to pit for Inters as Backrow is pulling to the left and letting his teammate by. It seems like Jasko has more pace at the moment, but right now Backrow will try to defend this Red Bull from the attack of the McLaren driver of Dirk Chocolate.
Daniel comes out right behind Cactus between Undertaker and him, and this could present an issue as Lavelle and Alex Budd, they've exchanged through Stowe. Now into the chicane, it would appear Alex Budd in 17th holding on to that. We'll jump back in just a second. Oh, well, as I say it, Lavelle around the outside with a switchback gets it back.
I'm really thinking of the strategy of these drivers here on Red Bull, and probably if I have this situation of 1-2 with my drivers, probably I would split strategies to see what happens, because if we're not really sure what is going to happen, probably splitting strategies can be the best one to make sure you at least have one driver on the good way to some a bunch of points for today's race.
Well, we are looking at a fresh set of intermediate compound tires hunting down a very worn set in Cactus right now, as Daniel, the former race leader, has come out in 9th position on the rear of the Mercedes. See how quickly he is able to get through. Gap to leader right now, 20.991, and it is growing.
Cactus right now holding a Daniel a little bit, it seems. Daniel pitted already, so now he has to clear traffic, and that's what he's trying to do right now on turn 4. Cactus and a lot of worn, I think it's 17 laps, yeah, of course, of those intermediates. Oh no, that can be massive at the moment, because it's 3-second time penalty. We need Goran is there on 3.7 gap, if I'm not mistaken, to the Alfa Romeo. And well, of course, we know Daniel has the pace, but he needs to clear the traffic right now.
That penalty, a real shotgun round to the foot, wouldn't you say, Alex? That is not good for him right now.
It's very difficult to overtake on this situation, and you can see, and if Daniel has a wet setup or something different than a dry setup, probably can be more difficult to him to overtake. Probably he needs to do the moves on traction rather than on straight line speed. As you can see right now, he's really pushing that overtake button, but it doesn't seem like to be enough to overtake Cactus at the moment. So if he has more wings or just less straight line speed, he will need to do this move on traction. As you can see, he's really closing on the corners, but on the straights he's losing time, and Dirk Chocolate is very close now on both Red Bulls. He's actually on the inside.
Back row has dropped off significantly to Jasko, and I don't know if that was a team order for him to, just drop the anchor and play rear gunner for Dirk, or if Dirk's just been pushing with back row dropping. It's a very unique race that we've now seen come through into this, as Jasko and back row, they both don't have penalties.
Daniel will try to interrupt on the inside of turn 4. It seems like now he has cleared the traffic. This is messy for him, because he didn't want to lose more times there on traffic after Green Goran was really closing that gap and costing probably that lead of the race for Daniel. At the moment, clean air, 8 seconds of clean air So right now, Dirk Chocolate is another intense driver who's really trying to make the move done at the moment.
Dirk Chocolate told me this week that he was getting a podium around his home race, and well, he's really putting in some work right now to try and make that a reality.
He's really trying it. He's really pushing. Seems like he has the pace. I think probably Daniel and Dirk, the drivers with more pace I've seen so far on this grid at the moment, on this situation. So it seems like he really wants to push, and probably back row and Zasco exchanging to cover that McLaren was a good option, because as you can see, 3.3 is the gap lost between both Red Bulls. So Zasco with a really good pace at the moment.
3.4 seconds the gap.
We need to go around the outside of Stowe, turn 15. Very good move from him. He has speeded already. Oh, and Dirk as well now, having the move.
Okay, he's made it into second position here. Dirk Chocolate now ahead of back row. The rain is still coming down, and it does not look like it's going anywhere. Back row for a look back up the inside through Brooklands. Does he get this done? Through in Luffield now. He's ahead of that McLaren. Dirk back on the inside. Does Dirk hold that position back off from the Red Bull? It's tight. Dirk on the inside gets that move back, and what a defense coming from Dirk Chocolate there as well. We call it a defense from back row trying to get it back. It was just fantastic fighting, Alex.
It was. It seems like back row had more strength and speed. He took that and out of that turn 5, and in Wellington Straight, he looked at the inside of Brooklands, but was not able to hold it after Dirk having that amazing traction. Seems like a wet setup on that McLaren, or at least a very good downforce on it.
Dirk Chocolate has made up 12 positions in this race from where he began this campaign, and I have to say he's been having a stellar performance here around Silverstone today. We've had a yellow flag. Who's this? It's Unicorn on the exit of turn 1. He is in the gravel trap. 10 seconds for his troubles to get back on circuit. Oh, no.
Fair, huh? And now good. A major spin. It seems like, he was almost on the racing line. He needs to wait. Probably he can get disqualified by this. He really needs to push at the moment, but he will wait for these drivers to be clean by, to rejoin on the track. Very good done, well done, sorry for him. But at the moment, really struggling. As you can see, the rears probably are done.
Very unfortunate for Unicorn. Struggling right now in that Renault today.
Really struggling on traction. I don't know which is the issue at the moment, but Rini Goran now is very close on the back of Undertaker. Will try the move here on Wellington Straight. Very good exit out of turn 5. He's really close on the slipstream of the AlphaTauri. He will go on the inside. It seems like a very clean move, very easy one to do, but it's still side by side. Undertaker holding on the outside. Sorry, there the AlphaTauri, but the difference of grip for Rini Goran just will let him go by now up into P10, but he has speeded one time. So he's right now the second driver on position that has speeded after Daniel.
Daniel right now gap to lead, 22 seconds.
Yeah, that can be massive, but I think these drivers are trying to do a no stop, zero stop, Zasco, Dirk, and back row, and Arrow. Probably that can be a thing.
Definitely going to be interesting to see if it pans out. Punctures have been trending lately in some of our races.
Now, Beccario going to the pits, probably not being able to hold that tire wear. Seems like probably right now is lightening even more that rain. Probably we can see a couple of laps of dry racing, and these drivers will have to pit. But that could be good for them. I think if they can stay there to the end, it's good for them. And if it's drying up as well, it's good for them, because they will be pitting one less time than their rivals. At the moment, Cax is losing the rear out of turn 3, and Green Goran is trying the move, but it doesn't seem likely right now. A better traction, it seems, for the Ferrari will be good enough to do the move.
There we go. Up the inside now. Easy as you like for grenade on Cactus.
Yeah, it was good for him. A good traction. Now Rotunis will try it on Godwin. He's really close there on the exit of Lovefield. Godwin having a better traction. Now he'll put the overtake button on the inside just before Cobbs. Buried side. He will try to make it clean, and he has done it right now on the back of Cactus. And it's not raining anymore. It's not raining anymore. This can be drying up very soon as Dankayu overtakes Arrow, and we'll see what is happening because at the moment it's drying up. This can be very good for the top 6 drivers who haven't pit. So we will see what is happening on this final stage.
Here goes Rotanius now, looking at Cactus around the outside of Stowe. He's got enough right now in that car to get the move done. Cactus struggling on the worn tires, and Cactus is on the way in. So let's see what's going on here. Who else is in just ahead of him? Unicorn. Who else has come onto a set? Becario has come onto a set of softs. Moen's on that set of softs. And everyone now thinking it's time for dries.
But it's too early. I think it's too early. They have missed it by 1 lap. I think I would wait 1 lap. Still DRS is disabled, and you have all of that spray. At the moment, Daniel almost losing the rear on the back of Maca, but it's very close action because Daniel will have a better traction using that overtake. Now ahead on Brooklands, the pole sitter up into P6 after pitting 1 time. The top 5 still yet to pit. They are waiting this to dry up, and Daniel knows it. Daniel knows it and wants to push as much as he can. I think he will not pit even if it dry ups. Oh, as Cactus has been disqualified after blocking the pit lane. Probably he spawned on the exit of the pit lane. Russian style.
Well, I'm trying to get a view, and there is a yellow flag through Sector 1 right now. I don't know if this is going to spark anything additionally, but Cactus went in for a set of dries, spun, it would appear, through the pit lane, and he's been disqualified as a result for his troubles.
Yellow flag, but it's a Unicorn letting everyone by. It's very dry right now. I think it's on this lap. Still a little bit of spray, but it's not enough, I think, for Inters. I think they are overheating. I'm trying to watch the temperatures on the wheel of these drivers. It seems like they're starting to heat up, and this is very close because it's 4 laps to go, and the top 5 have not pit, as well as Maca and Godwin, and they will try to pit 4 softs on this final stages, take that fastest lap as well, of course, and make these drivers who have pit already try to stay on the Inters in a dry condition.
Well, we're watching Becario, Alberto Perez right now fighting through Sector 2 as we come down into the hangar straight, and look at the carry of speed that Alberto Perez has on the rear of Becario on these softs right now. There's still some good pace on the softs, but look at this. Lavelle's looking at the pair of them as well. Through Stowe, there's a little bit of wheel banging, a little bit of contact. Alberto's holding that. Well, he's gotten that position back from Becario.
Becario losing the braking point, I think, and the grip is not there still for the softs, so that's a good indicator for the drivers on the top 5. Becario losing all the time their on grip zones. So right now Alberto and Lovell really pushing. Lovell going wide on turn 1, almost losing the car, but at the moment very tight because we don't know when it's going to be for dries.
Well, let's see if Yasko comes in here. The Red Bull pushing through, no pit coming out of him. Dirk Chocolate now, he does have a penalty of 3 seconds. He is on his way in. Ladies and gentlemen, Dirk Chocolate is on his way in. Back row, the other Red Bull has decided to stay out.
It's too risky. It's too risky for me. Just look at the sprite. He's going 60 kph and the sprite is still there. I think it's not the call at the moment. I actually think the call is to stay out, and just go to the end with the Inters.
A lot of folks in the chat right now jumping in to say this is a mistake. We are on the 24th lap of racing, not the penultimate lap. We're nearly there. 24 out of 26 laps right now. Dirk coming in for a set of softs. The question is, where is he going to land?
He's going to lose a lot of places right now. It should be behind Squid, but he's on softs. We'll see the pace of this McLaren. Right now it seems like it's drying up. So this can be very good for him. We will see the delta 1.8, 1.9. At the moment he will be losing a lot of time because it's still cold for those softs, but we will see on traction 2.0, 2.1. It seems like it's not for softs still. DRS is still disabled, and the McLaren will suffer. As you can see, almost 1 second lost already after pitting. This can be massive for him. And Zasko and Backrow are staying out with that 1-2-4 Red Bull at the moment. DRS is enabled.
Oh, that's huge news for a lot of the drivers on this grid. Are we going to see anybody come through here? Yasko has had a big... No, he hasn't had a slide. He's had a puncture. The front left tire of the Red Bull has blown on that car.
And probably he will speed on the pit lane. Ooh, almost. Zasko will have it covered, but Backrow will stay out. These 2 final laps, it seems he will not be pitting at this moment. He will not double stack at least. So we will see what he's trying to plan. But everyone pitting on that top 4. Daniel will stay out. He doesn't want to pit anymore. So at the moment it seems like he will be just behind Backrow. But Zasko will be on softs and will try to catch these last 2 laps to the pole sitter Daniel Monaf, and he will have a job to do, and he will be really pushing on these situations. But Dark Chocolate really gaining time. 0.7 is the gap with Squid. He gained 2 seconds on this lap already.
Squid staying out now. A lot of drivers into the pit lane. Still not yet out. Dirk into 8th now. Look at the speed coming through turn 1. We've had a yellow flag just ahead of them coming through into the loop.
Unicorn leaving everyone, I think.
Dirk gets that move on Squid. Yasko 5.3 seconds the gap to Grenade.
I don't think he will get it. But Backrow can get it if he doesn't get a puncture. I think he's saving. I think he needs to save so much on this lap and a sector that he has. Is 4.7, 4.5, 4.4 is the gap closing so rapidly.
Taking a look right now at the Red Bull back row. 3.4. Oh, it is such a carry of speed coming out of this Alfa Romeo in comparison.
He has a penalty. He has to open that gap of the penalty, not only overtaking. Backrow will try to just close all the door possibles on this lap, as we will be entering that lap right now. Backrow will not be pitting on this race. A 0 stop as the strategy, but he's losing a lot of time. The cliff is really there. There's no grip for Inters. Daniel doesn't have that grip, but it's still very dry for Inters as Dirk Chocolate goes around the outside of Routanius, now dropping into P6, the racing point, but Dirk gaining places. He wants that podium strip.
Yellow flag through Cops. I do believe that is Unicorn, as now Daniel up the inside of Backrow. Backrow with almost no traction at all on these tires. He has to nurse them with every ounce of his ability, considering his teammate blew the front left just 2 laps ago. Here we go. Daniel now out of... Well, coming down Wellington, here we go, side by side. We have the chopper view, and he is going to get that move easily through the inside. Backrow now knows he has to push. He has a full battery. He has the racing point of Mo and that back marker on the rear, just getting his final view of this action.
But look at the Interslicks. This is the Interslick situations for Backrow. Just look at their rears. They don't have the grip of the intermediates. It's not there. It's just a slick tire at the moment.
Squid dropping another position here. Backrow needs to hold 2 more seconds to Daniel. Can he take a race win from the Alfa Romeo, who's been having a very stellar drive today? He was a cut above on the wet pace. Grenade, Yasko, they've exchanged. Yasko now the softs doing the work that he wanted them to, getting him into the podium places. Here comes Daniel now into the final chicane. The Alfa Romeo with the 3-second time penalty. He had such a lead on the first stint of this race. He is coming now out of club. He will cross the line first here around Silverstone, but it will be the Red Bull Backrow will collect the race win. His teammate will finish 3rd. Grenade
spun on
4th.
Stowe. He was on points, and he has a puncture on the rear and on the front. It's a double puncture for him. Dark Chocolate will lose that 4th place. It seems like he got Grenade Gore on the line, but the penalty for him will drop him into P5. Duncan Yu crossing line on P6. Very good job for him. Routinius on P7. Arrow on P8. Squid on P9. Maka on P10. And Godwin, a double puncture will cost him the points today. Undertaker will be behind him. Doesn't seem like he will get points either. Very unfortunate for Godwin.
That was a stellar race finish. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't go too far, because we are going to have interviews with hopefully the podium finishers. What a race. What a dynamic that one was here in this one, Alex. Man, oh man, I am very happy with that race. GG.
It was the risk that Bakro took there was amazing. He was saving the tires, I think, almost all the race, at least all the last laps, because that lost. He was losing a lot of time, but then he pushed all that he had on the last lap. Zasco had to pit, unfortunately for him, but at the same time he saved that podium for the Red Bulls. It was just an amazing race for Tier 3 drivers again.
That was a fantastic campaign to witness here for the first round of the week. Definitely setting a high bar for the rest of the grids. Of course, this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's 2 a.m. for our friends in the UK or 3 a.m. for our friends in Central Europe, we have the Americas division. So the racing is not done for good today, just for a few hours. Wow. There was a huge drive coming out of Dirk Chocolate today as well. We're going to go and see him in just a short few moments, but wow. I don't have a lot of words to sum up that one other than exciting, brilliant race. Brilliant race. I had a lot of fun with that one, Alex.
I had it as well. It's just the last laps was amazing. Were amazing. We knew there was a chance of drying up, and it was actually drying up, but we didn't know if it was enough, and I really don't know still if it was worth it to pit for soft. Of course, Zasco had to do it, but other drivers, probably like Dirk, probably could stay out there on the inserts, but we didn't know they were.
The puncture risk. It was everything for a lot of these drivers, and a few of the drivers took that risk and even wound up with the punctures. Gadwin at the end there with the double left punctures. Very tough to swallow that one, nearly getting those points. Wow. Well, we hope you all enjoyed that one. Awesome race. And of course, massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. We're going to get interviews in just a moment's time. We have so much racing here around Silverstone today, or this week, I should say. This will be the first of 5 races. America's later this evening. We have Tier 2 tomorrow, same time, same place. Tier 1 on Thursday. We'll be back with APAC. And this weekend, we also have, well, an endurance series race, which I do believe we will be going to. I don't know if it's been officially decided, but we might go and visit Shanghai, as we've never done an endurance race around there.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see, as we will have some interviews now. It seems like the top 3 will be there at the moment, waiting for Zasco, who's there already.
It was a very, very dynamic race. Now joining us is the 3rd place finisher, the Red Bull driver, Jasko. Congratulations. It was a very, very dynamic race. How did you feel after that one? It looked like you might have had a win on the cards today.
Yeah, I feel very good really. After the puncture, I got again podium, and it feels very good for me.
Puncture at the end there. What was your plan to stay out, or did the puncture force you in?
Yeah, for the puncture is forced me to pit. I tried to stay out to the finish, but on 78% tire, I got a puncture and I have to force pit.
78%. Wow, we're gonna get an idea of what the tires were like for the other drivers as well, hopefully. But what a drive! It looked like for quite some time. What was the call to stay out? When was the call to stay out made? Was there any strategy to pit in this race?
No, we are with my teammate Baker on the channel, and he say to stay out. I want to pit really on lap 10 or lap 11, I don't know. And Baker say me stay out to the finish.
Well,
and we tried to do it, but unlucky. I got a puncture and I forced pit. And after pit, I feel very good for P3.
Well, congratulations on a fantastic race, a podium finish, a 3rd place result for Red Bull today, and a win for the team as well with back row. We'll talk to him in just a few moments, but thank you so much, Jasko, for joining us for an interview.
Thank you to you guys. See you.
Take care. Wow. That was he said 79?
78, I think, yeah.
78%. Wow. Wow. Next up, I do believe we are going to hear from Atom. Well, Atom, or, well, Daniel, congratulations once again coming through with a podium finish. A couple people had you for the win in this one. You definitely took the win on track after a very dynamic race. Let's have your thoughts on this one.
Obviously, I'm really happy with the win. Had some great pace today, which I really wasn't expecting. But yes, just had a bit of an unlucky penalty. But yeah, Backer deserved to win. To do the whole race on one set of intermediates is definitely not easy to do.
Yeah, we weren't sure what the strategy call was. We had absolutely no idea what the degradation was like. Just out of curiosity, what was your strategy coming into this race when you knew the weather forecast? Because we just heard from Yasko, he had wanted to pit, his teammate saying, hey, let's stay out, let's try something here. It ended up paying out pretty well, I'd say, for the Red Bulls, but you had the alternate strategy. But you also had immense pace, superlative pace on that first stint of the race. What was the thought process on that pit stop?
I mean, I knew I obviously had the gap 2 behind me, so I was just looking for the overcut, or if I could make my tyres last, I would just stay out. But I just didn't have the confidence to make it into or do what Backer did and just stay the entire race on the same tyre set.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say the traffic played a role in your pit stop today versus Yasko and back row?
I mean, the traffic wasn't bad, wasn't good. I'd say like 5-ish, just in the middle.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been holding you up just a little bit, but not enough to... I mean, you took P2. So,
Yeah.
but we had been looking at it as maybe a major handicap in the strategy, but it ended up playing out for you. I just wanted to say, Adam, congratulations on a great race today.
Thank you very much, Trishan.
Well, that wraps up interviews with Adam, our second place finisher. And now, last but not least, we're going to be taking a moment to talk to the race winner here after, well, a very dynamic 26 laps of racing. Back row, welcome. Congratulations on the victory for Red Bull today. It was a fantastic result for the team. A great call on the strategy, I suppose, all things said and considered. Alex, do you have any questions for back row? Oh, I think he might have just had to step away for a moment. Are you here?
I'm here. Well, there was an amazing race, an amazing strategy from the Red Bull drivers. How was that tower there at the end to manage?
I think I was on 84%. In the last four laps, I had to come off completely, lean all the way. You know, I was losing probably 3 seconds a lap to Atom.
Yeah, it was really, the gap was really closing there at the end, almost I think more than 1 second per lap, and I think you were trying to really save those tires, and then at the end you pushed. I actually thought your tires were more than done, but you actually had something on the pocket to fight with, and that was really good to see. So just I really don't know what to say, because that was an amazing race from you, a fantastic P1.
It's just really unfortunate actually that Yasko got a puncture and it wasn't a 1-2.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. He mentioned, of course, you know, he wanted to pit. You had suggested staying out. Obviously, staying out, it worked. It worked brilliantly for you. Adam had that penalty in the end. What was it? What was the strategy? Was it always to just, hey, as soon as you saw the weather forecast, or was it coming down to degradation on the opening phase of the race for you? Because what was your tire wear at the end? He said 78 when he punctured.
Yeah, I finished on 84%. When we saw the weather, we honestly had no clue what to do. We thought we were starting on wets. We took about 6-7 minutes to decide even if we were going to do a dry setup or what we were going to do. I decided on a dry setup and just hoped it would get dry, but never did.
Well, it was an amazing race to watch. I imagine you'll have an opportunity, or maybe watch it back, to see just how things planned out or played out with strategy. I'd like to ask you how you're looking for next week's round of racing for round 13.
I believe it's Hungary.
That's right. Yeah, Hungary.
I've always loved Hungary. It's one of those ones where you can get into an unwanted accident, and you just need to be careful about other drivers.
Definitely a different circuit in comparison to, I think, Silverstone. So we'll just have to see how everybody fares. But thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us, Backrow, and congratulations on the victory today.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up the Tier 3 racing coverage for the British Grand Prix in just, I think, well, 5 hours time, just shy of 5 hours from now. We are going to have the Americas division back here live, and that will be taken live to you, well, from the gentleman in Australia. That'll be Mick Gow, and I do believe Stars. If not, Mr. Bitto, I don't know if you're around this evening, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and, of course, hit you all with the outro, but not before we give a massive thank you to our partners, Next Level Racing. You can check them out via the link, of course, in the chat and down via the panels below. We'd also love to give a huge shout out to our fantastic viewers, our fans, our supporters, and all of our great drivers, and, well, just our great friends. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the Misfits Racing League and community. Thank you so much for the raids. We got some raids in there at the end from Mr. Unicorn Assassin, as well as Mr. Alex Budd. So thank you all so very much for the continued support. We're going to head on over now and raid a member of the F1 stream community. You guys know him, and if you don't, you better get to know him. His name is Dirk Chocolate, and I have to say he definitely earned the raid today, as he had a stellar drive. That's it for me. My name is Stryfium Alex. Any closing regards for all of the fantastic viewers today?
Just stay tuned because we will have Americas today. And yes, it will seem like Mika and me will be commentating that. I'm very excited to see that. So thanks for supporting the MRL, and we'll see you on next stream.
Take care, everyone, and have a fantastic evening.